Oh yeah, man. I've been recording. Shit is happening.
I'm just gonna edit all that together as if it's one long, unending monologue of you talking to yourself with no one here, James. Because I have not been recording my end.
Nice. Okay. So I sound like an insane person. That's cool.
I'll put it to music. It'll be fine. It'll be nice.
Yeah. People will not appreciate it, is my guess.
You don't think?
No. It'll sound like technical trouble. And they'll be like, something wrong? And we're like, no, it's fine. Shut up. What do you know? Where you been? Get out of here.
There's got to be at least enough content for me to generate like a James bot that can say just about anything. We've got enough syllables that we can produce any sound.
Yeah. You can send me on a rant of your choosing.
Oh, and I will.
Okay, cool. I mean, I appreciate that. Appreciate you putting the work in to make me seem like a crazy old man, as it were.
Well, guys, welcome to the Face season. We didn't workshop the name,
No.
but this is season 4 of Press X to Podcast, the Face season, where our faces happen, and red is a purple crown. How's life as a crown? Is that good?
Do you get a lot of work?
Yeah, not so much lately now that the king is dead.
Right. You do need him around for your crown-related business to really take off.
How have you guys been? How was the break?
Oh, not too bad.
Great. There was a coup, or is a coup, depending on how you define such things and what your parameters are. But everybody's been really cool and chill about it, which is good. Everybody's taking it pretty well, all things considered. I have not been playing as much Cyberpunk as I thought I would be because of fucking Hades. But, cool and normal stuff.
I mean, it's a good thing that Hades is a good game because Cyberpunk is not a good game.
Once I took a break to play Miles Morales and was like, wow, this is awesome. And then it went back to Cyberpunk like, okay. I guess open world games could also be like this. Cool.
Gives you a tremendous appreciation for the work of a developer that knows what they're doing in an open world.
Also, Jesus Christ, Miles Morales looks good on the PS5.
Oh my God.
Like their outfits and stuff, like everybody's costumes, they look so crisp and so fresh and so clean. So shiny, like,
yeah, man. Like one thing that really stood out to me is like at the Thanksgiving dinner or the Christmas dinner, Miles' friend Genki, at one point he just like turns around and the light glints off his glasses just perfectly. I'm like, shit, there's ray tracing on his glasses. Oh my God. This is ridiculous.
I appreciated how snowflakes would fall, tiny ones, and kind of land on their outfits.
Yeah.
And like sit there in such a way that was like, wow, I guess you really need an ass load of pixels to be able to see that like that. You don't realize how crazy that is when you first see it, but you think about it later, like, oh, there was snow falling on his suit that you could see as it settled there and chose to melt or not melt as the situation warranted.
Nice.
Wild.
You know what other game did that? Days Gone. Days Gone had all that.
Never heard of it.
Oh. Yeah, it was this little indie title from 20.
Yeah. From
19.
Sony Interactive Studios. Yeah, a small company, I'm sure.
Oh, Days Gone. Yeah, I gotcha.
Days Gone.
Yeah.
That is a good game. I think it's a very underrated game.
Nice.
I think we might have talked about this in the past, Rhett, but I feel like a lot of people who reviewed that game just didn't play all of it. Or didn't
Yeah.
play even half of it, because it gets a lot better after the first few hours.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot
Okay.
better. And I think that a lot of people gave up after it started to have performance issues. Like the performance issues got worse as you got better and more equipped throughout the game.
That last section of the game, Christ, did it run bad.
Yeah, very poorly.
But now, if you've got a PlayStation 5, you can go back and you can play it at 60 frames a second. It looks
60
really
frames and I bet it does. It does.
good. But yeah, we're back. Again, we don't have to talk about old games anymore, guys. It's 2021. We can talk about new shit. And I know for a fact that both of you have been playing some hot stuff. The hottest, some might say. And I know, James, you've been particularly surprised by what you've been playing.
Well, yes. It's a game called Loop Hero. I got a preview build. I don't know when it's coming out. I'm hoping soon because it feels very finished. But it's a combination idle game and roguelike. And I
Ooh.
managed to not use the phrase idle game one time in my preview write-up, which I feel extremely smart about. But it is an idle game. I just didn't think of it as one because you take a very active role more or less at all times, or you can, with a few exceptions. Basically, you play a knight, and the knight is the only person who remembers being a person or existing or existence at all. But not even really that. You just sort of like pop up on a path, a circle as it were, and you walk around in that circle and you encounter monsters. And every time you encounter something, you remember it. And then that thing exists again, which it didn't before. And it turns out that there's this asshole named the Lich who has erased all of existence. And it's the job of you and a small band of survivors to undo this. You don't control the dude directly. He just sort of walks in the path, which is randomly generated, but it's still a loop, right? And what your job is to set him up with equipment as he walks. You can change it even in the middle of a fight if you so desire. Swap out one sword for another. And then you can lay down the tiles that comprise the world. So you put a forest grove in front of him, or a spider's den, or a vampire mansion, or a graveyard. And then these confer certain benefits. Mostly detriments, actually. Most of the things you can put down just make things worse for him.
Okay.
And also, when you put a piece of equipment on, it obliterates the previous piece of equipment that was there before. So inventory management is very streamlined because once you take something off, it no longer exists. And you generate resources as you like walk along and kill things, and like the days pass and stuff like that. And if you choose to leave in the middle of a run, like you go to the campfire and you're like, I think I'm done for this round. You take all the shit back with you. If you die in battle, you only take a third of it back. And if you leave without going to the campfire, it's like half. So the stuff you take back, you can use to build up your base camp and like make it bigger and cooler. And eventually, once your loop world gets complex and dense enough, the Lich appears to kill you. I haven't beaten him yet because he's really, really hard, but I want to try. And there's classes. You can unlock, I think I've unlocked Rogue and Necromancer so far. And they have like different skill sets, and they're like loot acquisition works differently and stuff like that. There's different rules for playing these different characters. And I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's hopelessly compelling, and I just wanted to keep playing to the point where it took me twice as long to get the assignment done because I
Okay.
couldn't put the stupid fucking game down.
Got it. This has a real like 1993 vibe. You know, it looks
Yeah.
like you're playing Heroes 2. Something like that. But
Yeah.
That's a really interesting pitch. So you mentioned that putting things down in front of your knight is generally a bad thing. Why would you do that?
Well, I didn't really get it either at first, but I think you get different loot from different enemies. And they're worth experience. Although you have to unlock the ability to earn that. You just sort of run around in the loop for a while until you unlock, like, one of the first buildings you unlock is like, oh, now you have villages, and the villages give you quests, and the quests earn you experience. And when you get experience, you level up, and you get, like, skills. Like, your stats don't improve. That's all equipment. But you get, like, perks. And that is pretty cool. You can really make use of those to beef yourself up. There was one I found that every time you did a counter successfully, you like healed for like 10% of your attack damage. And you can make sure that all the equipment you put on has a little bit of counter percentage to it. So you can build up to like 50 or 60% counter. So like every 2 times you hit or you get hit, you like block it or push it back. And then you just keep constantly healing yourself.
Nice.
Which is very important because every time you do a run around, the enemies get stronger.
Gotcha.
So the slimes that were complete pushovers are now like total tanks. And there's these like beefy skeletons with all their muscle structure attached that like spawn out of graveyards that hit so hard. And it's just like, the first time you fight one of those things, you really come to appreciate the ability to heal with every strike, because otherwise you melt under this thing's fists. And holy shit, don't even get me started on the Lich. I think I fought him like twice, and both times he just sort of like, he'll sit there for a while, absorb some blows, and then take his big like staff of destruction and like lay it upon your head and do, I don't know, take a 30 health bar away, and you're like, bop, and you're like, oh well, I guess that's not happening. So yeah, I really want to push the game as far as I can, and it's cool because you're constantly experimenting with combinations of like stats and like what maximizing certain stats will do for you, and what you can depending on the luck of the draw, and like what loot you get, and like what certain perks do, and like what happens when you lay certain tiles down. Like, there's a swamp one that apparently makes your healing effects do damage instead.
Oh.
But there must be some reason to use it.
Interesting.
And a lot of times, if it's like, you'll lay like these like time tower things down, and it's like, or it's the lighthouse. It's the lighthouse. You put the lighthouse down, and then everybody within range of it gets a 30% attack speed bonus. So that's you and the enemies.
Okay.
So, you know, choose wisely.
Yeah. So does the having to earn the ability to get experience, is that a run by run thing?
Mm-mm.
Or is that just a
No,
global?
that's it's something you build in your settlement.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And then it permanently unlocks. You get the ability to put down, because that's the other thing. It's also a deck builder, because you have like a deck of like 12 cards. Yeah. And then like those cards represent the tiles you can lay down on the loop. And then you can swap out certain ones that you do or don't like. And you get the villages card, and then that gives you experience and like quests and shit.
You know, if someone told me that they had run out of ways to do roguelike games, I would probably believe that. But this seems pretty new. Pretty fresh.
Yeah. It's fucking rad.
The release date on Steam says 2021. Is there any more
Yeah.
specific information than that?
I don't think so. But again, they released a full preview build, and the version is like 0.917.
Oh, okay.
So I think we're pretty close to a full release.
Okay.
And believe me when I say you're gonna want to get your hands on this when it comes out. It's between this and Hades, I'm like, man, maybe roguelikes fucking rule.
Mhm.
Maybe I was wrong.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think probably most people don't like roguelikes, but they do like roguelites, like Hades and Rogue Legacy and this, where you are actually progressing. You're not starting from absolute zero every time.
Yeah.
Well, seems like another banger from our friends at Devolver Digital, in any case.
Oh, shit, yeah.
Rhett, you have a list of games you've been playing that is longer than the U.S. Constitution.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to tell us about?
No, definitely, I want to talk about this Alan Wake expansion that they put into Control.
Yeah.
You guys ever play this?
The Altered World events thing?
Yeah.
I didn't finish it, but I played some of it, yeah.
It's so fucking cool. It's so surreal. I'm a big Alan Wake fan. And I mean, any big Alan Wake fan would, I'm sure, is aware of sort of the development hell that the official sequel has been in, or even like, light development hell, I guess you could say, because I don't think they ever actually started it, but it was always an idea. I think that they had always kind of left the door open for that Alan Wake sequel. And so all these years later, it's so crazy to think, hindsight's 2020, but as you're playing Control, so much of it actually does remind you of Alan Wake. And I didn't really realize that until I got the opportunity to meet Alan Wake. Yeah. And I'm like, holy shit. This whole world is all connected. This is actually crazy. So yeah, this Alan Wake DLC has been surreal, and it's not too long. But for any Alan Wake fan, it's super interesting.
I was so excited when they came out with this DLC because that base game has so many hints that they're connected, but it's never explicitly said like this is the same world. There's just enough in there that you're like, oh man, that could be referring to like the plot of Alan Wake, but maybe it's not. Maybe that's just like Remedy being Remedy and saying, hey, remember we did this thing, but no, they are connected.
Absolutely.
I gotta get back to that.
Like they're building a pretty. Oh yeah, 100%. I haven't finished it myself, but I plan on doing so, and hopefully this means that there may actually be a real sequel in the works.
Maybe. I want to look up when that Ultimate Edition is supposed to come out with the next gen enhancements. I feel like maybe I should just wait for that to happen.
Yeah, because that was the only thing with that game. If it was running at a smooth 60 frames per second, man, it would be a blast.
It looks bonkers good on the PC, but I also don't really want to play through the whole game again.
It's gorgeous.
I don't necessarily have time for that, but
yeah.
I feel like they said end of 2020 is when that Ultimate Edition was supposed to drop.
Okay. I'll have to keep my eyes out for that.
But yeah, if there's anybody out there that hasn't played like even the base game of Control, what a fantastic game.
It really is. Like, it was one that I picked up, and for the first maybe 2 or 3 hours, it took me probably 4 or 5 times to actually get through it. I just was not enjoying myself for the first few hours of the game, and then I started to get a little bit more powerful. I started to be able to knock enemies out quicker, and everything just started to click. the floating through the air, grabbing debris, shooting it at people, using your service weapon, the whole combat cycle really became satisfying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's a good game. Very good game.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that I kind of grit my teeth and got through those initial awkward hours, and yeah, because it really is fantastic.
Yeah, there really seems to be two schools of thought on that game too for the first couple of hours. Like, for me, I was engaged from the first minute, like when she stepped into the oldest house and was just kind of wandering around for the first bit and meeting Audie, the janitor. I was completely hooked at that point, but I know plenty of people like you, Rhett, that were like, what is this? And it took until you got a few powers under your belt to really get into the flow of things.
Yeah. What else? Obviously Hades, crushing it. Absolutely crushing it. I picked up Bastion because I heard good things. I think it was $3.79 on the Canadian eShop. And yeah, I wanted to go on this Supergiant Games kick because apparently Bastion was unreal, and I got it, and it is. It's not Hades by any means, but it's good. It's good. If you like Hades, yeah, it's and especially if you could get it for $4 Canadian, I highly recommend Bastion. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Solid voice acting, same kind of clean, crisp, accurate development that Supergiant is known for.
Mm-hmm.
I did see as well they've got that Transistor game on the eShop. I think that's what it's called, Transistor.
Yep.
And it's similar, that top-down perspective, but I guess it's more of a stop and plan your move kind of game. I guess similar to like the VAT system in Fallout.
Yeah, a little bit. I think
it sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, Bastion gets a lot of props, but I think it's my least favorite Supergiant game.
Yeah.
Hades
You've played
is
Transistor?
probably the best, the most polished that they've done. But I think Transistor is really close. But also Pyre is a really weird departure for them. But that game was like space basketball in a really weird way.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's super strange, but it does have that same kind of precision that Rhett's talking about with their development and the control and the movement. It's a really good game.
Yeah. Everything always just feels so tight.
Yeah.
Things never feel unlucky in these games either. That's what I really love about Hades. Like, nothing ever feels unfair. You know? Even when it's time to crank the heat up pretty high, it still feels like you are adequately prepared. Sure, the deck is stacked up against you, but I don't know. I've never felt like I've been incapable, I guess, of beating something yet in Hades.
Yeah, and when you do get beat, it's because you failed to do what you needed to do. It's not because the dice rolled wrong or something in the game didn't work as you expected. It's like, nope, I totally deserved that. I should not have dashed in that direction.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Have you guys seen the credits in Hades yet?
James, have you?
No, I don't think I have.
Okay, then maybe we should hold off.
I think it.
Oh,
I
definitely
think
not.
it's just like. Yeah, I think I'm not too far off. Like, the story's been progressing slowly but surely. But yeah, I think I'm getting there.
Excellent.
I mean, I've done a bunch of runs, but it's not the same as finishing the game by any means.
Yeah, no spoilers at all. My only concern with Hades was that I was going to actually finish the story because I was so fucking invested in figuring out what happens. So I figured once that story kind of wraps up, am I really going to want to keep doing runs? And the answer was yes. The story wrapped up. But then they threw just a little tinge of extra story your way that is just enough to get you to do another, I don't know, 100 runs at least. So yeah, there's a phenomenal endgame content here. And I'm looking forward to another long time with Hades. Another long, arduous 40 to 50 hours with it.
And they could easily add DLC to a game like this.
Man.
You know, a couple other circles of hell, and there's another several hundred hours you could spend with this thing easily. It's just so damn good.
Is the Olympus... would Olympus be DLC, you think, or does Olympus deserve its own game?
Ooh. Okay, I could see it being DLC.
Yeah, you could do that because like I think Supergiant personally would probably do it as DLC because it'd be basically it'd be the same game structure, the same mechanical layout, right?
Yeah.
So you would still be getting, you know, the boons and the slow drip feed story progression and then the fascinating dialogue interactions and the way the story builds. It would just be cool new locales and maybe the chance to see people in person instead of just through their messages.
Yeah.
Should be sick.
Yeah, as much as I love that, like, the one art print they did of Zeus, would love to see it in motion, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see some more of that shit.
Oh, yeah.
What a good game.
Oh, I'm just so
The
addicted
third
to
best
it.
of the
My
year,
God.
some say.
Yeah, some would say it's the third best of the year.
Some would say. Some would say.
You know, side note, I was looking at that list again, and I don't really have any regrets
No.
about that list we made.
No, I think it's good.
Except maybe, I think Doom should have been ahead of Spider-Man. But I could go either
That's
way.
fair.
You know,
That's fair.
that's
I mean,
that's the thing about
right,
these lists. They can be
exactly.
totally, you know, they could change day to day. And on that
I
day,
really,
those were our 10 favorite games of the year.
yeah. I really did enjoy Doom. It was very, very good.
Yeah.
What
What a year.
Should I just keep going here? You want me to go with another game that I've...
Rhett, keep rolling. I played absolutely nothing because I needed a break from games.
I guess, like, I was going to talk Kentucky Route Zero, but might as well wait until that's finished before I talk that.
Okay.
Got it
How
off.
far
Got
are
it.
you?
Not very far.
Like first act or?
First act, and you were talking about games that like grabbed you right off the bat. This was one. As soon as it pretty much started, I felt like I was invested in it. So, yeah, I think I'd rather just go through it before I talk about it.
Yeah, let's do that.
That was another one though that I got on sale. It was like $16 Canadian. So yeah,
Ooh.
fantastic deal on that. Yeah,
I would love to do
Switch.
a spoiler cast of that game.
Oh sure, love to. James, have you played it?
I also bought it in that same sale, so
Nice.
we can set something up. You and I can power through it, and then we can have some talks.
Totally.
Yeah, man.
Yep,
It
I'm
goes some
down.
places, let me tell you.
Ooh, are there multiple endings?
I don't want to say.
Okay, that's fair. I like that.
I don't want to say.
Yeah.
But
I like that. I guess there are two other games I guess I could talk about. One of them is
Sure.
the Hong Kong Massacre, which after talking about Hades, the Hong Kong Massacre looks like, I don't know, a pile of shit, to be honest. Hong Kong Massacre is a top-down, one shot, you die kind of game where enemies are shooting you from off-screen and you need to play through each level 20 times before you familiarize yourself with the locations of every single enemy, and you're able to beat them to the punch with shooting them first. It doesn't really do anything better than something like Hotline Miami, so it's tough to recommend Hong Kong Massacre when you can get every bit of what Hong Kong Massacre is trying to do, but more from a different game. Of course, I also played this on the Switch, and I'm sure you can imagine that it is much better on literally any other system. So for me to recommend this on the Switch, I simply can't do that. Hopefully Kentucky Route Zero.
I mean, who would have guessed?
Well, man, okay, with this one, I didn't think it was going to be an issue. It's like fucking the file size is like, I don't even think it's a gigabyte. How could this be that bad? I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say it's that bad. It's just, it's a combination of both the frame rate issues, which I am confused why there are frame rate issues, but it's frame rate issues, and then it's the flimsiness of the Joy-Cons. It's tough to be accurate with the shitty sticks that are on the Joy-Cons, and Hong Kong Massacre requires 100% precision. So it's all kind of frustrating.
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Although even a game like Kentucky Route Zero has some performance problems on the Switch.
I was just gonna say, so yeah, there are performance issues on the Switch. With that, it's fucking garbage.
It gets a little bit framey in Act 5.
Fuck.
Not terrible, but it's.
Glad I got it for PC.
Yeah.
Yep.
Of course.
Feel pretty good about that.
Like, why the fuck are there performance issues for that shit? Hades runs fucking flawlessly on the Switch.
Well, they've been tuning that thing for like 4 years.
Yeah.
Hades had a lot of time in the oven, and it's like the only other platform that it's on.
Yeah, that's fair.
Whereas like other games, the optimization for Switch comes last, if at all. Generally, fans are like, is it going to come to the Switch? And they're like, fuck no. No.
Yeah.
But then they ask 100 more times, and they decide that, hey, maybe I guess we're going to do it.
Crisis on the Switch? Okay, you asked for it.
Just watched the video of there was this dude going through the top games on the Switch of 2020, and he had Crisis on there as number 1.
What?
He had it above Hades.
No.
Yeah.
That's got to be a joke.
Oh, maybe it was. Maybe he was fucking trolling. Because, right? Nobody's putting Crisis above Hades if it's on PC.
No.
Right?
No.
Crisis was okay, but it's no Hades.
It's just a graphical set piece, and it was that in like what 2011 when it came out. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, like
It's fine.
it's fine. Exactly, it's fine. But
Boy,
for it to be like can it run Crisis? For it to have had a meme like that revolve around it. There are better games that could have been that could have filled that slot, so to speak.
Yeah. A bunch of them, actually.
The last game. Sorry, James, go ahead.
Okay. No. I mean, you can go, then I can go.
keep rolling. Keep it rolling, Red.
Okay, yeah. The last game. There's really not a lot to talk about on this one. Phogs. Y'all heard of this?
Yes. But just barely.
So it's a fun little puzzle game. You play it with 2 players. You're this 2-headed dog, similar to cat dog, even though I know that that's a cat and a dog. The 2 dogs that you play as in Phogs are connected at the body, and that body can stretch to hilarious lengths. So there are various puzzles that you work your way through with another person, and it's actually really charming. It's a lot of fun. The puzzles are never too demanding, so you really could play it with your girlfriend who may not be as versed in video games as you are, and she'll be able to hold up just fine with you. And same goes for your boyfriend. If he sucks at games, get him to play some Phogs with you. I'm sure he'll enjoy it. I've been enjoying this game, and I recommend it.
Question.
Yes.
Why is it called Phogs?
That I must have missed. I there's not much of the way of a story in this game, but if I were to go back, maybe there's an explanation. But off the top of my head, I cannot remember them giving any sort of explanation.
I mean, I'm looking for the pun. The dad joke in me wants to find the pun, but I don't know what it is.
It's not like puzzle dogs, puzzle hogs. No.
Let's go with that. Puzzle
Big-
hogs.
Yeah.
Big burly puzzle hogs.
Right? Exactly. Thick, veiny puzzle hogs. But yeah, that's Phogs.
Well, yeah. Okay, cool. Stretchy puzzle dogs. It's good. It's good stuff. I got the code for Calico today, which I'm gonna smash out a review for as soon as humanly possible. It came out a while ago, so we're playing catch up on this one, and that's fine. It's a chill, cute, sort of open worldy kind of life sim game where you inherit a cat cafe.
Oh, okay.
And then you fill it with adorable animals, and you help people with their problems on the little island. And it's got some weird quirks, like you're immediately given the power to change the size of most animals. Specifically, to be able to ride your cats and dog friends around the island. So you use this power on the first cat you see, and it becomes the size of a horse, and then you ride this cat horse to your various errands. Doesn't work on birds because the character literally says in game, "Oh, we couldn't get the mechanics of flying. I couldn't get the mechanics of flying figured out." I'm like, "That's fair. I wouldn't expect that of you." It's a very small project. But yeah, it's just a cute, simple little cool silly game about managing a cat cafe. You like decorate the inside of it and like spruce it up, and it makes money when you're not there. People just show up and buy food and hang out with the animals while you're out doing chores, and then you come back and it's like, I've made thousands of dollars. It's adorable and silly and short, and I will have a full range of thoughts probably in like a day or two, actually. I got it for the Switch. It runs mostly good. Couple of wonky bits. Did see somebody walking along the ground, submerged in said ground up to their shoulders, which probably isn't normal. Also, she was bent over at a sort of strange angle, but that's fine. That's fine.
Oh.
And
That's like
the camera.
That's like a 4th grade bug in the post cyberpunk world. Don't even worry about something like that.
Yeah. And there's this weird thing it does where in order for you to be able to see your character at all times, because sometimes that the space you're in isn't that big, like the cat cafe house is pretty modest, it'll just obliterate the walls, like you just see right through them. And if you turn the camera fast enough, it gets kind of dizzying because it's like wall gone, wall gone, wall gone, wall gone, like really fast. And it's a lot. Also, you have this, the first thing you get is what looks like a super sugary Starbucks drink that lets you teleport back to the cat cafe from wherever you are on the island. And it doesn't, there's no loading for that. You just sort of like, the whole world just kind of like stretches and then pops you right back in this weird, like glitchy kind of way. And like you land in a shower of stars. It's like, that was disorienting.
Wow. I'm watching a video right now and there's lots of the characters holding up animals of various varieties in front of them and wiggling their bellies, which I'm pretty into.
That's a big part of the mechanics.
Yeah. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah. And any animal you encounter, you can either lift in your arms or over your head.
Okay.
And then you immediately, basically like, there's no, it's a very chill game. So you like see a polar bear and you're like, huh! And you ask it to follow you, and it does. Also, I don't know if there's a limit on how many animals can follow you at once. And they will follow you all over the island. So you can give like 9 of them that same command, and you just have this parade of like different animals, like cats and dogs and ravens and shit, just like trailing behind in the distance.
Well, I am gonna need you to find that upper limit, James. I think that's pretty important.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing I'm gonna do. As soon as I wrangle all the animals together, I will have a Pied Piper style parade that I just run up and down until the game crashes. That's the plan.
Calico. Man, I had not even heard of this, and I have no idea how you found a code for it.
It was announced and released on the same day on December 15th.
Okay.
And it kind of got lost in the holiday shuffle. So
yes.
now I'm doing a late stage review.
Wow. I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
Anything else y'all want to talk about, or?
Well, if anybody is curious, and some people might be, there is a steady stream of news coming out about Cyberpunk. Generally, lawsuits, inquests, refund business.
Mm-hmm.
Poland is
A country.
Poland is a country with a complicated story to it. A lot of stuff goes on in and around Poland that is,
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. Don't spend too much time reading about that country. You will get sad. You'll get sad. You'll get really sad. Anyways, the government has decided that they might garnish the wages of CD Projekt Red by 10% every annum or every once in a while until they fix the game and make good on their promises to the customers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't read too much into it because it seemed like far-fetched, but then I was like, oh no. No, that's definitely the kind of government that would do that sort of thing. They take a direct hand when they feel the need.
Indeed.
In the affairs of its people. And sometimes that takes the form of garnished wages for an entire company.
It's an interesting use of the word garnished, isn't it? You know, it's like they sprinkled parsley on top of the wages.
Yeah, but now they're smaller.
They've taken 10% of my cheese that was supposed to go on top of this meal. Yeah. Well, that's not great. I hope they fix that game, but I still feel like when people see that game without the bugs, they're going to look at it and go, this is not done. This is not what they said.
No. There is a huge game. Somebody posted a huge long thread from an employee, allegedly from an employee, like GameFAQs or something. And I read through it. And the poster, allegedly, makes it very clear that a huge chunk of that game was cut before release. Apparently, there's supposed to be an underground section of Night City.
Oh my God, really?
And apparently, there was factions. And apparently, there was the transportation system was a lot more robust. I guess there is a reason that people keep trying to sell you cars.
Interesting.
There was a reason, but there isn't anymore. And it's interesting because when you play, there's a lot of things that seem strange. Like, why would you do it that way? Why does Jackie's mom suddenly know you? And then you have a quest line where you have to go contact her, and it's just like, well, why? Where did that come from? Also, why is the introduction of the game a 6 months montage of activities instead of like gameplay?
Motherfuckers.
And like and why is there this whole system where like once you get in good with people, there's just like these people that just contact you out of the blue on over the phone or whatever, and you never meet them. Like, you don't meet them to establish that contact. They just exist suddenly in the ether, and they're like giving you jobs and shit. And it's just like, was there a part of the game where it was introduced to you and then like interacted with you in some way, and like,
how'd you get my
there's
number?
Just a lot of evidence. Yeah, there's a lot of evidence that game is like at best 60% of what the developers originally envisioned. And the person, and this is the laughable part, is like, oh yeah, they're going to reintroduce all that stuff by June. Fuck off. No, they're not.
No chance.
If we get 10% of that cut content
Oh,
by the
yeah.
summer, I will be
Shocked.
impressed.
I mean, people have already found quite a bit of cut content in the files that they've tried to restore with mods. Like there's a romance side quest with Judy for male V that was fully voiced and everything is just in the cut files. Things of that nature that they just didn't completely scrub. It's so weird. I don't know. It's got to be a money thing. It's got to be a financing thing that they had no choice but to bring it out.
I heard from what again, this is all for the same anonymous poster. Allegedly, a lot of it was the results of like producers and like interference from the people controlling the money and stuff like that. Like,
I have heard a fair few
people
I have heard a fair few places that bringing Keanu Reeves on board drastically changed the course of the game.
Yes. Apparently the guy was like, yeah, no shade on Keanu, he's cool, but our original vision for this character was a lot wilder and a lot weirder, and they had like a completely different style of actor in mind, and then just at the last minute there was like, here you go, it's Keanu Reeves, and it's like, okay. And because I think my understanding is that when he like walked out on stage at that E3, that might have been like not long after he was introduced to the staff and like he's beginning in the game, and they're like, okay, I guess he is. I have a funny feeling that Keanu Reeves and his introduction and the integration and the remodeling and the rigging and stuff like that probably had some impact on some other sections of the game.
Well, most of his dialogue does sound like the first time he's reading it.
Yeah.
Part of that is his style, and that's fine. But some of it, I'm like,
He's not.
You should have taken a second take here, bro.
There's a lot of evidence historically that he's not the great voice actor. You get him more for his face and his presence and his personality.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rather than his acting skills, which is fine.
He has a character that he's great for, and that is Neo/John Wick. And so Johnny Silverhand is Neo/John Wick, but my understanding is the tabletop character is not that.
No, not at all.
So that might be part of it.
Even his dialogue, the way it's written, is just like, this is a weird way to deliver that line. I think they had something else planned, you know?
Yeah, there's some very strange writing in that game that seems like either it was translated from Polish and didn't get a pass from, a native English speaker, or there were multiple writing teams and they were not aware of what the other teams were writing. There's lots of side characters where they act completely differently from mission to mission, consecutive missions. And I don't know, it just feels so weird. It's weird, man.
Yeah, I kind of want to, like, it's sort of like fucked up my ability to, like, go back to it. I kind of want to just wait until the game is done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, maybe go back to it, like, once they've, like, reintroduced some stuff, or, like, fully optimized it. Just, or even, like, once they get a roadmap happening where they're like, here's some things we're going to fix.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess either once I find out that this is as good as it's going to get, or they're actually planning on fixing it, then maybe that'll like change my motivation to keep playing. But for now, I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, in the comments on our review, there's lots of people who are saying, I don't know what you're talking about. I really love this game. I loved all these things. And I reply to them and go, okay, but what? Like, please tell me, what missions did I not see? What is really good in this game? I would love to go experience it. And I just don't hear back from them.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I was really hopeful that we were going to get Hitman 3 in before this podcast.
Man, that's looking
so we
good.
Can talk about that.
That is looking.
God, I want to play it
so fucking smooth. My goodness.
James and I were talking before you got here, Rhett, about what potentially you can do in that tall building in Dubai. And obviously, you're
yeah,
going to throw somebody off the building.
I think there's going to be many ways to throw
Obviously.
people off the building.
But
They experimented a little bit with that in Dawood's like penthouse. There were a couple fun ways to toss them off of that, but yeah, I expect there to be significantly more in Hitman 3.
I'm really hoping for a reenactment of that famous scene from one of the Fast and Furious movies where they jump a car from building to
that
building.
Would be nice.
And I would love
Yeah.
to kill a target that way.
Yeah, that's really
That'd
a
be
no-brainer.
amazing.
That's really a no-brainer, isn't it? What else could you do? Yeah.
I trust the writers over there. I think
Mhm.
they've probably got it nailed down. But look forward to impressions on that on our next podcast.
That's gonna be
for
good.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else, you guys, or should we just get out of here? Under an hour, in and out.
We could probably, hopefully when the next podcast drops, hopefully I'll have gotten my hands on Cyber Shadow.
Oh
It's coming out
yeah,
for the Switch
that game.
from yeah.
The main thing I remember from the preview is how amazing the music was. Just banging.
Yeah, that's Jake Coffin, aka Vert. If you've heard a really amazing chiptune soundtrack in the last decade, he was almost certainly part of it.
That's barely an exaggeration too.
Yeah.
All right. Should we get
Yeah.
out of here?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah, you
End
know
this
what?
podcast?
Yeah. We'll be back in a couple of weeks, guys, with some hot takes on what hopefully happens. Hopefully things happen in the world of video games. Like, I know things are happening outside of the world of video games, but that's like maybe not something we're as equipped to talk about. So hopefully game things happen in the next couple of weeks, maybe.
Almost guaranteed to be cyberpunk news. We'll cover that.
Yeah, that is somehow just a reliable promise to occur.
God, why? As he immediately goes to his drink.
That's right.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to this first episode of Season 4 Press X the Podcast, episode 4.1. This has been the week of January the 11th, 2021. We're going to be here for a whole year of fun and excitement and video games. And we're glad you're here for the ride. So,
Hell yes.
take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
So smooth.